Hello and welcome back to Inner Circle Guidance. So a lot of people are in the middle of doing really deep healing at the moment with Scorpio season and the eclipse happening and the full moon. There are a lot of heavy energies right now and a lot of abundance that's ready to come in, a lot of new energies. So let's take a look here and see, what the collective really needs to be focusing on in terms of healing right now so that we can move forward into a more abundant season. I've already saged the cards here. Okay. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the Chariot. The Emperor. Two of Swords. Four of Swords. Okay. So what I'm getting here with this swords energy is, so swords in general tend to be more about our thoughts and our words and the way that we communicate. So what I'm seeing here is the Queen of Swords is somebody who has cut out all of the things that are no longer serving them, okay? But she can also come across as cold at times, very logical, very kind of like quick to say things in like a clever way, but maybe not always like the nicest way. Like sometimes she can say things that are very direct and probably true even, but maybe there could have been a nicer, less confrontational way of saying it. And so what I'm getting here between the Queen of Swords and the Emperor, which is a very cold, non-emotional, logical energy, is that I'm feeling like this energy is causing you a lot of confusion because you're so focused on the logic of everything, of being right, of communicating so directly that this is actually causing a lot of confusion and a lot of like stagnation in your life, okay? And with the Chariot here, we have the two Sphinxes on either side. And the two Sphinxes, as you can see in this tarot, are two different colors. One is dark and one is light. And these two Sphinxes in the history of tarot have to do with balance, the balance between light and dark. It has to do with the balance between masculine and feminine energies. So, the masculine being more logic and thinking, whereas the feminine energy being more nurturing, more feeling, more emotional energy. And with the Chariot, I'm seeing that there's a lot of new changes coming in. There's going to be a lot of karmic situations that are going to be clearing out. There's going to be the ability for new movement, new cycles, and it's going to happen very quickly. But first, before that can happen, we need to take some time to think and reflect. So you see in this card, we have, this person is laying here staring up, and we have, the sword below and the swords above here. You need to think back on your past. You need to think back on these karmic situations you've been in. Maybe there's been some decisions you've made that weren't for your highest good. And you need to accept those decisions and move forward, knowing that you've learned your lesson from them and can move forward in a different way. And admitting the fact that you may have made some decisions that were not for your highest good, or maybe just decisions that are no longer serving you. Maybe you need to be changing some thought patterns or some habits, or maybe you need to be changing other things in your life, such as, going for work that makes you feel more aligned, or being around people that makes you feel more aligned. And that's really going to help clear up some of this confusion and some of this stagnation and some of this blind energy. And I'm getting the impression that you feel like you don't know where you're going right now. Like maybe the path isn't clear, but you're going to be receiving clarity here soon. Okay. Let's get a couple more cards. What else does the collective need to focus on in terms of healing? Okay. We have the Eight of Cups, the World, Ace of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, Queen of Cups. So this is literally confirmation of a lot of the things that I just said. So Queen of Cups, I would say, is almost the opposite of the Queen of Swords, in the sense that the Queen of Cups is a master of her emotions. She's very nurturing, very loving, but sometimes can also have her heads in the clouds a little bit, right? So what I'm seeing here is this goes back to that balance that I was talking about between your masculine and feminine energies of being, logical and thinking through things, but also being vulnerable and emotional and feeling your feelings and not cutting your feelings out. And what I think is important to say here is that when you work with the law of attraction and you work with manifestation, your emotions and your thoughts and feelings are equally as powerful when it comes to manifesting the things that you want for your abundance. But if you cut off your emotions and you can't feel all of the positive things that you're trying to attract, and you can't feel that love for the things that you want to attract in your life, you're going to have a lot of obstacles where they're just going to stop moving. Okay. Because you're creating that resistance and that energy of blockages. Okay. So balance here between your more logical and your more emotional side. And this goes for men and women, okay? When I say masculine and feminine energies, there are women who have more masculine tendencies in terms of thoughts and feelings, and there are men who have more feminine energies in terms of feelings and emotions. So this doesn't have to do with genders, okay? So the other thing I'm seeing here is that you really need to walk away from the things that you are no longer, well, I shouldn't just say things. I should say situations, people, and things that are no longer bringing joy to your life. And what you're being urged to do right now is to focus on yourself and your own journey. Because there's a lot of things, what I'm seeing with the moon right here, there's a lot of things that you need to learn still about yourself and about your own journey that don't involve anybody else. And that could be friends, that could be family, that could be, love interests. This is a time to really focus on your own self-healing, standing in your own power, really coming to terms with yourself and meeting your shadow self. So you see how the moon here, there's essentially two moons in one. So we have a full moon and then we have this crescent, and they're kind of like combined. What I'm getting with that is that you need to face your shadow side, okay? You need to come to terms with the deep parts of yourself that probably need some healing. You need to look at and be unafraid of the darker parts of yourself and come to understand and love that side of yourself so that you can move forward in a positive way where you completely understand all aspects of yourself. And I think it's important to say here that your shadow self, I think, is highly misunderstood. Can your shadow self be a saboteur? Yes. Can your shadow self sometimes cause issues and, come from more of a place of ego, more of a place of desire and things like that? Absolutely. But the thing about our shadow self is our shadow self also gives us insight to very deep aspects of ourselves and our personalities that are very important for the understanding of who we are deep, deep down. Okay? And the shadow self, as much as some of it puts on these facades, there's also a lot of really deep-seated truths of our shadow selves that can be very helpful in determining how to move forward and the things that we really want, the things that are really important to us. And I think that's important here because with the Ace of Pentacles here, the Ace of Pentacles is about long-term stability. It's about financial stability. It's about having stability in all aspects of your life. It's about having opportunities. And it's about opportunities that can be given to you by the divine here, okay? But with this Ace of Pentacles, you really need to understand the darker parts of yourself so that you're not repeating cycles that you don't want to repeat, that you can bring in better cycles, okay? And the world here, not only can this card mean literally like the world, as in like you can achieve everything in the world that you want, you can create your own world, but the world is also a card of karma, of cycles, okay? So oftentimes when we have these karmic cycles that we keep going through, that we keep having to deal with, it's because there's some sort of lesson in this circle of the path that we've taken that we haven't learned, okay? So I'm getting the feeling that there's some things here that you don't want to see, things that you have refused to acknowledge, maybe things that you have chosen to ignore, mostly probably because it's easier, number one. And number two, probably because some of these things are painful. I mean, look at all these swords, look at all this baggage. It's painful. It's easier sometimes just to ignore your baggage, to pretend it doesn't exist, to act like it's not there. But the problem is what happens is you put on this blindfold and you end up tying yourself down to all of your burdens, all of your problems, all of your baggage. And what happens is it causes blockages and confusion that make it difficult for you to move forward. So let's get a couple more cards here. I'm hearing for some of you that you've been considering doing therapy, and you either have chosen not to do it because you're worried about financial, or you've chosen not to do it because you feel there's some sort of stigma to getting help, to talking things out with somebody that maybe would have a perspective that you don't see because they are a completely disassociated party. And I'm getting that for some of you, if you've really been considering going to therapy to try to work some of these issues that you're having out with a professional, that this is your sign that you may want to consider moving forward with that at this time. I have a feeling too that some of us are struggling with inner child issues. I don't know why I'm feeling that way, but I'm feeling like that's also an issue here. Let's see if any of these cards reflect that. We have Temperance, Five of Pentacles, Nine of Cups. Seven of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. Okay. So, what I just said about inner child, I'm hearing that some of you are having issues with your mother. And I'm getting that from this card, which this card, it does have to do with somebody who's very nurturing, somebody who's very abundant, who can create a lot of things in their life. But I will say this is not traditionally just a mother card, but I am getting that your abilities to manifest things in your life, you had to learn kind of on your own. Maybe you had family that wasn't great with money, or maybe your family wasn't the best about discussing feelings. They were all about logic. Or maybe on the flip side, you have family that's very emotional and they make all their decisions based off emotion and nothing of logic or thinking or planning comes into effect. And so you grew up in kind of this very confusing energy of not knowing how to move forward. So I'm hearing that you learned a lot of how to navigate your life on your own, which has given you a lot of power actually to move forward as a master manifester of your life and be able to really manifest things in a really positive and quick way. But there's still some of these issues in these different areas of your life from your past that you're still working out. And I'm getting, if you're seeing certain birds lately, you should really pay attention to what those symbols mean. So if you are seeing a lot of hawks lately, for example, you should look up different spiritual symbolisms of hawks, but hawks can mean, spiritual awakening. I'm also getting, if you're seeing snails or worms, there could be some messages for you with that. Slow and steady wins the race. And a lot of breakthroughs coming through if you take the time to really reflect on some of these things that have caused you issues in the past. Maybe also some of these issues from your past are stemming your insecurities. So maybe there's been some things that you haven't moved forward on due to fear, and that's blocking your different areas of abundance. But I am getting that you have been planting the seeds. You have been thinking a lot lately about the things that you want moving forward. You have been making plans. You have been starting the actions. But I'm still sort of getting that there's still a little bit of apprehension here. A little bit of uncertainty. Okay? And I'm also getting that there's a lot of areas in your life where you're more content than you have been. But you're still kind of wanting other things to change. You're still wanting new things, or maybe you're in this area where you have a lot of the things that you have been wanting to manifest in the past, and that's finally coming to you or has been fulfilled. And now you're thinking about the next steps of your life and how you want to move forward from here. And maybe for some of you, I'm getting that path may be very different than you initially thought it was going to be. I'm getting that you're feeling a little lonely too right now for some of you. Some of you feel like this path that you're taking is maybe not the path your family or friends expected of you. Maybe you're worried about disappointing them. But I'm also getting that you're also just putting a lot of effort into yourself right now. Okay, my phone went off. I wanted to make sure I didn't lose you guys. So I'm getting that you're isolating yourself right now. And maybe you're also thinking about a lot of these things without voicing them because you want to make sure that all of your decision making is coming from you and not outside influences, which I think is quite wise on your part. And know that even though you feel like, lonely right now, you may feel misunderstood, you may feel just like a lot of disappointment in a lot of ways. Maybe some of these other situations you thought were going to be great for you ended up not being so great, or you realized it wasn't in alignment with your higher self. But there is healing coming in. There is balance coming in. There is peace that's going to be coming in. There's going to be clarity coming in, but it's going to require a little bit of patience on your part. It's also going to require some grace and self-love and acceptance from yourself. Okay? It's going to require you to really think on the illuminations and the breakthroughs that you need. So if you've really been struggling with something, like maybe for some of you, this is relationship wise, and you've been questioning, where maybe some abandonment issues are coming from, or maybe some codependency issues are coming from. Think back on your childhood and the places that maybe you didn't feel loved, didn't feel abundance, didn't feel secure growing up, because that's likely where this is coming from. And if you do some journaling and you really write out all the questions you have for yourself, and you just start writing and answering, even if the answer is not totally right, even if the thoughts aren't complete, and just really give yourself the time and grace and ability to just think through all the different aspects of things without feeling pressured or without judgment for yourself, I think you're going to come to find that you're going to get some clarity and some answers that have really bogged you down for a long time. And there may be answers that you didn't expect. They may be stemming from places you didn't expect them to come from. For example, I used to have a lot of issues growing up, and I had issues with abandonment. And my biological father left when I was very young, but I never seemed to care growing up. My mom always said, you never asked about your dad until you were in college. And I realized that a lot of my issues with feeling abandoned actually came from my mom, which was strange because my mom never abandoned me. She never left me. She was always there. She was that constant thing in my life. But what I realized is that my mom didn't always communicate with me in the way that I felt that I needed. And I never gave myself that communication to myself. So growing up, I had a lot of issues with communicating in ways where I felt like I needed validation for the ways I was feeling. So moral of the story is that sometimes these revelations and these breakthroughs that you're going to have about your shadow self are going to stem from places that you didn't expect. And giving yourself the time to reflect and the time to really think on this without any judgment for yourself is really going to allow you to look at things from a totally different perspective than the way that you've been looking at them. I'm going to get a couple more cards. Oh, this one wanted to come out. So this is the Two of Wands. This was on the bottom of the deck. So what I'm getting here is that you have the world at your fingertips, okay? You have multiple options. You just need to choose, though, which direction you want to go in, because right now you have many directions you can go in. Your karma is clearing out. The universe is saying, okay, this is the next big step of your life. What do you want for it? What do you want the next step to look like? What things do you want to accomplish? What people do you want in your life? What kind of jobs do you want? How do you want to feel? So I really want you to take the time in the next couple days to really think about this. Write your affirmations, write about the things that you want to accomplish. And if you aren't sure what you want to accomplish, start with what you don't want first. I literally want you to write out all the things that you don't want in your life. And then I want you to then go and write the opposite of that. And that will help you figure out what exactly it is that you're looking for and what really means the most to you. I'm going to get 3 more cards here. Any last guidance on your healing journey here for our collective? Wow. Look. This is the 1111 card. So for those of you who have felt stuck, for those of you who felt like things weren't moving, for those of you who weren't sure that things were going to work out, that you were on the path that you were meant to be on, this is your confirmation. Okay? This card is the 1111 card because we have our 4 wand pillars here. But this is also a wish fulfillment card. Okay, this is the time where the universe is saying you are on the right path. You are aligning with your higher self and your higher purpose. And celebrations and positivity and love and light are coming into your life. Okay, so this is a fantastic card to get. This is really wonderful because this is really, really telling you that if you put in the work that you need to do, you really are going to get all the benefits of all the things that you've wanted for a very long time. And for some of you, it's simply peace. Okay, I think peace of mind is something that's highly underrated. Peace of mind is so important. Peace of mind affects everything else that we do in our life every single day. So for those of you who have felt like things aren't moving, for those of you who have felt stuck, for those of you who have felt like you have tried everything and nothing seems to be working, all of this is paying off. Your hard work is paying off. Good things are coming, okay? Good things are coming. You know what? I was going to get a couple more cards, but I feel like that really is... I really feel like that's... I don't want to get too... I feel like anything else I say is going to be just highly redundant at this point. So this is your reading. If you claim this, I want you to put 1111 down in the comments below, okay? If you claim this reading, I want you to affirm it, okay? I want you to say, to yourself, good things are coming to me. I deserve good things, okay? Because you do. You've been working really hard, okay? You've been putting in the work. Keep putting in the work. Don't lose hope. Everything's going to come together for you, okay? So don't forget to like and comment on this reading. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every week. And thank you so much for stepping into my circle.